the needs on the Egyptian side have still not changed. Actually, the needs get higher all the time because of the rising population. What has changed on the Dutch side is that we do not have projects anymore. I remember a mission that I did for Wouter Mondiaal, and where I was asked to also talk to the IFI's, because the idea was that if Holland had certain small missions, sharing a little bit knowledge here and there, that the IFI's would pick it up. But I can quote from a conversation that I had with the EU water expert at the embassy, EU embassy in Cairo, Ayman Ayad. And he said, Wouter, that is all very well, and Holland was at the front row in water in Egypt, because you had all the projects. Now, you don't have projects anymore. You are on the second, maybe on the third row. So, if Holland is interested in doing water stuff in Egypt, well then, either you establish projects or you arrange investments for the infrastructure in Holland or whatever. But if you don't really pay into it, you don't play a role. You're on the third row. And this is a very understandable for me, a very understandable explanation of why it was. We were in the front row, and now not anymore. I remember also that there was Peter Flick, the late Peter Flick. He was first secretary at the embassy, head of the Economic and Development Department, and he was very much in favor of donor coordination, because donors can do all kinds of things separately, much better to coordinate. Holland was chairing the donor subgroup water. Why? Because it had excellent contacts with the minister, with the ministry, and all these projects. You could, if there was a question from any donor, they would point to a Dutch person and say, he can answer your question, he can answer your question. I remember very well, there was a German official. He said to me, Wouter, good that we talk. I have, in 2 months, I have a meeting with Dr. Bayoumi Atea, the head of the planning sector. He was happy that he had an appointment in 2 months. I could call the guy the same day and say, Dr. Bayoumi, please, I need this and that. If you are in the front row, you also play a big part. And there's also a complaint from GIZ that I have heard several times. The Dutch always want to cooperate on water because they are so good on water. Yes, Holland is excellent on water because of our origin and country and our organization of water. And the Germans said, yes, we want to cooperate. But when it comes to paying, the Dutch are not there. So in the end, we forgot about, we don't want to talk with the Dutch anymore about cooperation because they don't pay. And that's it. So the lesson is, if you want to be in the front row, if you want to share your knowledge, you need to do some extra work. And then a couple of years back, Kees Veerman, ex-minister and farmer in Holland, he's still farming, I guess, he wrote an article in one of the leading newspapers in Holland, in the NRC, and he said, well, a little bit more oil in the economic diplomacy would be very good. Because if you don't pay into it, then you don't get a role. So that's my feeling about this.